I want to share this new build that I just found out. And basically, everyone's using the arc subclasses now, but especially in Heresy's Nether seasonal activity, where automatic healing is disabled, Warlock's on demand access to Devour is way too powerful to ignore. But don't worry, this isn't just a defensive build. Power aplenty is on the cards here. The addition of the new Void perks and huge improvements to existing subclass verbs in Heresy combine to transform your Warlock into a god amongst Guardians in PvE. So, Infinite, Volatile, and Weaken is the name of the game here. So I'm going to go to my full screen here. Go to my Guardian here, and I'm going to show you this build live. Okay, I call this one, I think the article even calls it Void Explosion build. It's really fun. It's really fun. I used this last week in the, here, I'll share my screen, Kingsley. So everyone in the, so everyone can see it here in the Discord as well.
That'd be nice for us.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I forget about that. Yeah, I forget about that. Yep, there we go. It's live. You guys should be able to see the screen now. Cool. Okay. So on this build, let's start out with the actual super, right? Let's start out with the super. I've already got it pulled up. I already dimmed it over. But on this, you're using a Voidwalker subclass, and you can use, as far as you can use Cataclysm, you can use the, I like using the Vortex because you can shoot it quickly. It's not going to get in other people's way when we're doing DPS, right, Kingsley? I used this Vortex super on the Garden of Salvation raid, and it didn't seem to affect anybody's DPS. I shot it up high on the last boss, and it just sat there and just burned them. It was really good. But as far as jumps, whatever you want to use here, I like using the Vortex Grenade. This is all up to you as far as how you want to build this part. I'm using the Feed the Void fragment. Feed the Void aspect, and I'm using the Child of the Old Gods. You know where I'm going, right? Aspect for that. As far as your fragments, I'm using Echo of Reprisal. Final blows when surrounded combatants grant super energy. That's important. Then I'm using Echo of Instability. Defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to your void weapons. And yes, we're going to be using void weapons. Third, Echo of Harvest. Defeating weakened targets creates an orb of power and a void breach. So that adds more to your ability upcharge. And then finally, Echo of Expulsion. Void ability. Final blows cause targets to explode. That's a key word here, is explode. So there is the aspects and fragments and the super I'm using. As far as my helmet, of course, got to go near 100 resilience if you can. I mean, I probably can tweak a few things here, but the main thing you want to use for your exotic is, of course, Briarbinds. And on this one, I've got my resilience because it is exotic. I can get the extra +3 resilience build on it. Kind of like that artifice armor upgrade there. That does require an exotic cipher, by the way, if you want to use it. Impact induction, causing damage with a powered melee, reduces your grenade cooldown. Grenades are important here, guys. Also, focusing strike grants class ability energy when you cause a damage with a powered melee attack. You need your rifts because that's going to activate your little void buddy. That's going to do a lot of work for you. And finally, impact induction, causing damage with a powered melee grants reduced grenade cooldown again. So I've doubled up on those to get that grenade back as quick as possible. For the exotic helmet wise, I've got, it's all about heavy ammo here. I've got the ammo finder, and then I've got also the scout. So my teammates that are playing with me will see tons of ammo bricks everywhere. So that is important there. And I've got a harmonic siphon because I'm using a void subclass. It only costs 1 slots as far as my armor goes. That's going to create orbs of power when I kill multiple things with void. Going to my chest piece, I'm thinking about PvE activities in general. That means harmonic resistance, which only costs 1, by the way. That also solar resistance. I can change this to arc depending on what kind of bosses I'm going to be up against. But I usually like to put on a concussive dampener mod because I hate getting stomped by bosses I get close to. This lessens the blow of fireballs and all kinds of other weapon and all kinds of stuff that's coming at you from bosses. That actually helps with this as well, not just stomps. So that's what I'm using there. On my boots, I'm using Void Harmonic Holster, which only costs 1 because I'm using a Void subclass. A Harmonic Scavenger. Void weapons get bonus reserves when picking up ammo by that weapon. I'm thinking of my heavy weapon here. It's going to be a heavy Void machine gun, by the way. And then, of course, Void Weapon Surge. Why not? Because we're using a bunch of Void. And that was for Kingsley, by the way. Also, on my class item, I'm going with my usual stuff. Bomber, Distribution, and Bomber. And you can use Reaper if you decide you want to use Reaper instead of Distribution. That's your call. That's kind of a personal decision there on how you want to use your Warlock. Weapon-wise, here it is. The Joxer's Longsword. Repulsor Brace enhanced and Destabilizing Rounds enhanced. This thing, just with ad control, this thing just mows through stuff. And I've got the extra perk, Heavy Ammo Finder Enhancement. Grants increased heavy ammo finder progress with this weapon's final blows. This is going to be the main weapon I'm using when I'm not doing DPS. So keep that in mind. That's good to have as an extra because my recoil is 100 because I have Arrowhead Break. So I don't need really any kind of counterbalance mod. So when you enhance a weapon, you get these extra little mods here, these little beauties here. And so since heavy ammo is usually at a premium when I'm doing PvE activities, I'm putting this extra ammo enhancement finder enhancement on, which really, I tell you what, I had more heavy bricks than I knew what to do with. So that's a great addition there. Joxer's Longsword, just play Crucible. That's all you got to do. Any kind of Crucible, even Trials, and this sucker will start dropping for you. And here's the kicker. Everybody plays any amount of Crucible gets a ton of their Ingrams at the Crucible at Shaxx. It only costs 1 Crucible Ingram and nothing else to focus this weapon and try to get a better roll. And I will tell you, there's a lot of different rolls this weapon can get, so you may have to go through a few. I'm still looking for my legendary Graviton Lance build. I don't have it yet. That's Dragonfly and Destabilizing Rounds. I'm working on it. I'll get it eventually. And of course, what's good? A good commemoration with Reconstruction. I do not have this crafted yet. I want to get this one crafted, but I have to go to Deepstone Crypt to do that. And I'm working on my weapons in Garden of Salvation right now. I haven't played enough Deepstone Crypt to get this crafted yet. So remember also, playing any activity, Prism Harvest is always good to put on your Ghost, especially when you get those enhancement prisms. Remember, you can turn in enhancement prisms at the Cryptarch to get more enhancement cores, which I'm always seem to be low on because I like to enhance any weapon that has a decent roll on it. So that is the build. I've got high recovery, obviously, because I want to get my rifts back quickly. And also high as far as my resilience, high resilience. So there we go. Why does it not show any volume in the chat? That is strange.
What do you mean volume in the chat?
My mic is not. Oh, I'm sorry. It is coming through. Sorry, I've got my alerts overlay on as well. Freaking out there for a minute. So what do you think, Kingsley? What do you think looking at this? Anything you would change?
What do you have for the primary weapon again?
Now, the only reason I use this sidearm because it is anti-barrier this season.
Of course, you're doing double primaries.
Okay, fine. I can go with scattered. Now,
a special weapon is going to be better than even that primary Joxers because specials just take things down faster. So even though I know you love pulse rifles, and I'm sorry, I'm mostly being funny here. This is just how I would do it. But let's say a special trace rifle is still going to probably mow down enemies quicker than that Joxers. So if you're using a primary like that, you really should have a special weapon for your other slot.
Okay, I can do that.
A raid or something like that.
I can do that. That's not a problem. This is the weapon. If you use any weapon that has repulsor brace, destabilizing rounds, it doesn't have to be this pulse rifle. This will still work to integrate with the rest of the rolls. And I forgot to mention this too, Kingsley. These are the artifact perks you want to use. And I know I've got it set up with my arc right now, but you want to use Void Flux, defeating weakened targets with void weapons applied volatile to nearby targets. I like keeping my particle reconstruction because, like Kingsley said, I'll have a special weapon on. This is what I hate. I have to go through my latest one. Seriously, to refund this? This is such a pain in the ass. So you want to go with Maligned Harvest. Rapidly applying volatile causes your next instance of void weapon damage to create a weakening burst. We'll refund that. Also, you want to use right here, Volatile Marksman. Rapid void weapon precision hits, by the way, and void weapon final blows grant volatile rounds. That's a no-brainer, right? So I think I've got, I think I used King's Prestige Vestige or something for one of these, but you get my point. There's a lot of really good void things you can use here that work really well together. Refund that. I'll put back on this.
It looks good for a void build, but I still personally think you're going to get more damage protection with Arc these days, because here's the thing. Devour, yes, it heals you instantly, but you don't even want to get to that point. You want to have more damage reduction than worrying about healing. So Devour is really good, but in my opinion, if you can have more damage reduction, which all the Arc can do right now, then you don't even have to get to the point of needing Devour. This is my opinion, but it looks good for it.
Like 99 Cap said, the Void Soul, all it does is just sit there and just apply weaken to everything. So once you shoot at something and not kill it, the Void Soul will go over to all those adds and just start melting them. And that's adding, adding back to your Devour.
I was talking about defensive for yourself.
Right.
If we want to go to offensive, so I think defensive, the Arc build is stronger. But if you're talking about offensive now, this actually looks pretty good. It does look like the offensive side will be shooting out a lot of stuff.
Right.
So that's pretty good on that.
I actually used a variation of this build in PvP, and that little Void Soul was so good in PvP. And I have a build for this for PvP as well. I think True Vanguard likes using this build as well. I think that might have where I got in one of his videos, but using this setup in Crucible is really nice too. Obviously you can put Blink on, which I always use in Crucible, but yeah, Jimmy Haiti Kent still not giving up on me. Put that glaive on, man. Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. Do we have any? We do have a Void Glaive. Actually, I could get a Void Glaive. That's right. I could put a Void Glaive on here. It's the one you got.
Well, and the other question is, what are you going to use? Because the machine gun's fine for general, but you kind of, it's not the best still for DPS on bosses and raids.
Well,
so would you move like a linear fusion?
This one right here.
Or something, you know.
Got Reconstruction, High Impact Reserves. It's a Mistral Lift. This is from the last Dawning event. If you notice, I'm building this one up right now. This is something I can use because with Particle Reconstruction, it's really good on bosses. And by the way, I did switch, when we did do the final boss encounter, we weren't getting the DPS numbers. I did use my Queensbreaker with my Catalyst. So keep that in mind. Yeah, the main reason I came up with this build, I was playing Nether activities the other day when I was doing the story. I put my Rift down and my health just went up like the slowest amount. And it gives you maybe 25% on a full charge of Rift. So with the Devour,
much bigger pool. Yeah,
I think it's the way to go.
Yeah.
Devour is awesome. Yeah, and also the Overshield. Exactly, because every time you pick up, if you go back to your aspects and fragments here, you're getting a Void Overshield when you pick up a Void Breach. That's another.
Okay, let me see what that damage protection is compared to Arc. I wonder what the Void Overshield does.
Well, the Void, there's an aspect in here where you pick up either a Void, what is it, a Rift or whatever they call the little Void thing, elemental thing, or an Orb of Power. You get an immediate Overshield. I use this in Crucible a lot, by the way. It's
it does look like it's potentially a pretty strong percentage, but it lasts a lot less than. So I can see why this is better almost in PvP than PvE, because I would rather have like more overall damage protection that lasts the whole time than like a little boost of health and then it goes away or whatever, and then you rely. Because think about it this way. It's always better, like let's say you have a really strong, the iPhones, they have really strong glass covers these days, right? Like, so when people drop them, they don't break as often.
Right.
But wouldn't you rather also have a screen protector on it so you don't even have to rely on that?
Sure.
So it's like, if you have the protection layer on top of it, what a lot of the Arc does, you don't even have to get to the point of worrying about healing and stuff. But I'm just being critical. I'm not saying this is a
No,
bad
that's
build. I'm just
no problem with
you
it.
know,
No problem with that. And
there's so many good builds in the game,
yeah,
and whenever you do a build, you definitely want to look for some kind of protection and some type of offense if you can, and this provides both of that.
yeah.
I think the offense is really pretty darn good. I haven't looked at all the numbers on it,
I
and
had
the defense.
2.7 million on that last boss, and of course I was
Well,
using the Queensbreaker, full, but I
yeah, that
did
has
throw a
nothing to do
Nova
with the
Bomb
build,
too.
really.
I did throw a
Yeah,
Nova Bomb at the very beginning when I was doing damage on it. So, I mean, look at all the options you have here. Domineering. After suppressing a target, you gain greatly increased mobility and you get reload. I mean, there's so many options here. Melee final blows, start health regeneration, plus you get 10 resilience. Void buffs applied to you have increased duration. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can do this. Void grenades void grenades weaken targets automatically, so that bypasses a lot of things there. But this is the one, Echo of Vigilance. Defeating a target while your shields are depleted grants you a temporary void overshield. I use this all the time in Crucible, and it has saved my butt so many times as a void warlock. So even I was looking right here, the last one. Picking up a Void Breach or Orb of Power grants Devour. How easy is that going to be in a PvE activity? I mean, you have a ton of options here. Finisher blows, you get invisibility. Say you need to go, maybe one of your teammates is down and you need to go pick them up and you don't want to get slammed by the boss. So you do a finisher on a minor enemy and then go invisible and go pick them up. I mean, you have all kinds of things you can do here. Defeating weakened, that's currently applied already. So yeah, so Void is still very strong, folks, especially when you combine them with the seasonal artifact. There's really good Void setups in here. That and of course even the dreadful finisher, you do a finisher and it gives special ammo to everybody. I mean, you can't beat that. So and hold the line while surrounded. Machine guns and glaives gain increased reload speed and stability. Final blows heal you. I'm using a machine gun, but yeah, I agree. For DPS, the machine gun would probably not be the way. You'd want to go a linear fusion rifle, and in that case, like I said, I'll go with I have a couple void linears here. I have this one, the Doom Petitioner.
Well,
loose change
when you're talking about DPS, it doesn't even have to be void. All you want to do is because again, Queensbreaker, it's not anything like that, but you just want to match your surge mods to whatever you do. So if you happen to be a void linear fusion, then be sure you have void surge mods, which you probably do anyways with this build. But technically, you could do like a solar or an arc linear, and then just have a solar or arc. Just
a personal aside here, Bungie, please, for the love of God, keep powering this thing up. I want to use this so bad. I want to use the Darcy so badly in PvE activities for DPS. I know you buffed it a little bit. It's still not enough. It's not overpowering the linear fusion rifles. I love this. This is my favorite sniper rifle in the game. And they just gave it such a wimpy amount of power. And it's a heavy sniper. It should be powerful because you're using heavy ammo to fill this sucker up. So come on, man. Anyway, I just had to get that in. Just in case someone at Bungie listens.
Whisper has been good at times, but Darcy never really has been too good at times. And I just don't know if it's ever really will, just because it's kind of a different aspect of a gun.
Well, like I said, it's hold on, let me get this screen.
Whisper just has so many things going for it, so that when the snipers are in a good spot, then Whisper will probably always be better than Darcy, unless they can do something really unique with Darcy. I don't know,
Yeah, machine gun and glaives. I know, JD. We're gonna run a raid one of these days, man. You're gonna show me how you work that glaive, man. I want to see it now. Now, I'm really proud of myself. When I was doing the boss rush yesterday, I was using that glaive that you saw in my inventory. I felt powerful as hell. And whether I was shooting it like a shotgun with a burst, and man, it reloaded so fast. Let me see what was that. Hold on. Let me. That was now that we can use the edge of concurrence on all our characters. This little bad boy here is fantastic with an arc build. I can't put it on because of this. This right here, this little bad boy. I'm ranking it up. I'm ranking it up too, but I do have the lightning seeker on it. And once you build up a few kills with it, and you hold down your reload button, this thing just blasts away as far as arc damage. This is really fun. This was really fun to use in the boss rush yesterday, and in the and in the Cord. I used it in the Cord of Blades as well. It would, with the arc build, it was really destroying stuff. So 2 really good builds there. I mean, 2 really good builds for warlocks. And I think I think a lot of these aspects you can use on the Void I'm talking about, you can use on other characters as well, like your Hunters and your Titans. I think they have these aspects as well. So you might even be able to use this on your, because I know Void Titans are strong right now. So just saying, we've got a lot of options out there, a lot of cool things you can build right now. So I just wanted to mention that because I actually put the link in my last stream. If you guys want to, and I'll put it in the show notes. I'll try to remember to put it in the show notes too, for those of you who are listening right now and want to hit the dim link on that. I'll put the dim link in the show notes as well.